Hagen's a DJ now.
The notorious LEZ.
DJs are cool.
We're a found footage movie. Oh no, I hope the cat is not about to lunge on us.
We're all quiet now because Teddy is in that room sleeping. So.
Because I don't have a car, so we can't even talk.
Yeah. What did you see?
My hair always looks so bad. We saw the pyramid. It was just called the pyramid, or was it just called the pyramid? Oh my god, it was so bad.
As above, so below. Below harder.
At least it didn't make me sick. I don't know what the cat is doing. Is she in the bucket?
No, she knocked it over, but none of the water got out.
My ceiling leaks, so there's a bucket. This has nothing to do with the movie.
Yes. Okay. Probably a short one because I don't have a power cord for the camera right now.
So bad.
So.
It was so bad.
Okay. Long story short, it's a found footage movie.
It was boring.
Where they forget it's a found footage movie half the time.
Yeah, they do. They're like, oh, we'll take the cameras and we'll hope the battery lasts. But then there's like these shots where they're being filmed, like from the other side of like a chasm, and you're like, who is filming right now?
That's the silent extra character. Didn't get any lines because he's a Middle Easterner. Because only white people are allowed to have speaking parts.
Who is driving? Dog is driving. How can this be? Is it? Hold on, we're having kitten difficulties. Please stand by.
Again?
Just bring the bucket over here because I don't think it's going to leak like right this second. I'll go empty it tomorrow, or when we're done. And so anyway.
I'll probably cut that bit out.
Yeah. So anyway, it was stupid and it was bad and I hate everybody.
Then Egyptian guard guy, a soldier guy, who looked like Skitch.
What is her obsession? She's never been like this before. Leave her be. Oh no, because you're hurting her. Stop it.
I'm trying to get her so she wouldn't be anywhere near it.
She won't.
Okay. So they go in there, they discover this three-sided pyramid, which was buried.
And they found it with ground penetrating radar, which is actually kind of cool.
And then
they satellite.
They completely fucking teased me by being all like, "Oh, it's the pyramid of Akhenaten," and I was like, "Ah, oh, Akhenaten, aka Amenhotep, does not have a pyramid because he was ousted as pharaoh because of his belief in the Aten, the one god, which is possibly considered the first example of monotheism ever in human history, and it is theorized by some people, I don't know if this is the case, that Akhenaten was actually Moses, the inspiration for Moses, the real world inspiration, that he was ousted as pharaoh and took a bunch of his followers into the desert and was never seen again. Then all of his statues and all were destroyed and stuff like that. But Akhenaten's my favourite pharaoh, and
there was no mummy in this. That would have been really good if there was a mummy, but there wasn't.
Yeah, so they're like, "Oh, is it the pyramid of Akhenaten?" I'm like, "Oh."
Basically, this could be described as like the Hannah Montana Egyptology adventure, because okay, so you have your party, and there is the brash documentarist who I didn't like her very much, although you kind of like had to feel bad for her because she was like sent on assignment to this. You had her Australian cameraman, who I thought was awesome, and I wanted him to live. Spoilers: everyone dies.
Go DJ soundbite.
And yeah, we're like it's soundbite. But and then there is the main archaeologist, who is doctor. So I guess she sped through the grad program, and basically she's a whiny little bitch. She is like Hannah Montana, being like, "But Daddy, I want to go into the pyramid," which brings up the senior archaeologist, her father, who is kind of like a rational one. But seriously, I don't understand how he got.
Except he thinks Akhenaten has a pyramid.
Yeah, I don't understand how he got his big name in archaeology if he lets his daughter bully him. Like, he was literally the senior scientist on this dig, and he's like, no, the government says we have to do things and stuff. She's like, but Daddy.
And his daughter's boyfriend, who is like sexual harassment boy with the robot.
It's so bad. He has this little rover, because when we saw the trailer, I said, this is so irresponsible. This is why real Egyptologists, when they go into a pyramid, they don't go in themselves, they send a little robot. Because they do. In documentaries, they do. They send a little robot, because if it's between my legs that she can't overtip the bucket. Because if they send a robot and it collapses, you're out a few $1 million in the robot.
$3 million, they said that's how much it was worth.
I still want a few, but I don't know how much one is worth in the real world.
Well, they said 3, so.
So you're out, you're out in money, but you can rebuild a robot, and, that's why we have robots, to prevent the loss of human lives. But this is just people being stupid.
They send the robot in and what looks like a chupacabra attacks it, and then they go in after it, and they're like, oh no.
And they mishandled
No,
science.
but-
Like, when they open the tomb, a guy, like, this green cloud bursts out and, like, kills a man instantly. And they're like, oh, he died from aspergillus, which is a fungus. It is a fungal infection. It's a lung infection. And it takes a few weeks to a month to actually start affecting you. And basically, you have to go on antifungal medication, and you have to have a fungus ball removed from your lungs. And I know this because it was listed in a book that I read when I was in elementary school called Natural and Synthetic Poisons, which I took out of the library. And probably this tells you all you need to know about me, but still. And they're like, and so that was like, they had so many ideas going on at once. Like, they brought the Freemasons in.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, well, the Freemasons are really good at tomb breaking. So Derek the Bard, you got some splaining to do.
Yeah, so they're in the period, they go in after the robot because it's like really dark, you
Yeah,
know,
they said
short
that-
circuit
oh,
remake.
No, here's the thing though. So they're about to the next day they're going to send the robot and have the main part of the dig, and this is taking place during Arab Spring, well, Arab Summer really, because it takes place in August 2013, and they are on SatLink with the U.S. It tells them, look, the Egyptian government says you have to leave. They're like, well, when can we come back? They're like, we don't know. Shit's getting real. You have to leave. And they're like, and the guy's like, the head scientist, the father's like, okay. Alright, well, it sucks, but that's what we gotta do. And the girl's like, but Daddy, he really needs to just send the robot in for like a few seconds and things and stuff. And
And then Skitch is like, I'm angry at you, an Egyptian. But then they were showing the Arab Spring stuff. They were, the main characters, you see them in a car in the middle of Cairo. Their dig is 200 miles south of Cairo.
I think they had to fly into Cairo.
I'm pretty sure they would have probably flown into Cairo, but two problems. One, if they're going 200 miles south of Cairo, why did they go from the airport into the middle of Cairo and then go down?
Because
Two,
I don't know where the Cairo airport is. And second of all, traffic might have been diverted.
It's possible. But two, they used a helicopter to get to the dig site.
They did, that's true.
So it's like, we're in the airport, go to Cairo Central. Oh no, where are we going? To a place where they're with helicopters. Where's that? Cairo Airport. They just wanted footage of the Arab Spring going there.
And I
wanted
think they
some stock
actually
footage.
used some stock
Yes,
footage,
they
right?
did.
I think was kind of disrespectful, but whatever. So they've got that aspect going on. So they're like, oh, we'll send the robot, and of course the robot gets attacked. And while they're setting up to send the robot, I said, the robot's going to go in, I said to her, and it's going to get attacked by something and disabled. They're going to go in to get the robot and bring it out, and they're going to be trapped there. And then they had that thing going on, just like as above, so below, where they're like, oh, well, they go in there. Of course, the robot's been wrecked by the beasts. We'll get to that in a second. And of course, they're like, oh, no, it's this way. No, it's this way. Oh, wait, how can we
The beast
be
that
back
looks,
here?
that looks like a jackal of some sort,
Yeah.
or a dog.
When we saw the trailer, like, months ago, I said, I bet it's Anubis. I was right. But, like, it was the same thing. We're like, oh, no, we got turned around. How can we be back here at the same...
But see, the thing that attacked there's several monsters in this.
There is.
There's Anubis, who is 6'6", made of CGI, and
With human eyes.
doesn't. Well, he's supposed to be half human anyway, but
But he's not half human. He's a guy.
Yeah.
He's Anubis, the jackal-headed god. He's not half man, half jackal.
Well, yeah, he's supposed to be human from the neck down. In this one, he's just like
A werewolf.
I got wolf
He's
legs
a naked
and
werewolf.
big, animal claws and stuff.
Hide your shame,
And
Anubis.
he's supposed to have like his head's supposed to be like really dark color and everything. You know, Pyramids of Mars had a more realistic looking depiction of an Egyptian
Anubis
god.
is awesome. Like, I was very interested in the Egyptian pantheon of mummies when I was like a toddler. This is real, like, because I saw, and this is a great example why letting kids watch Sesame Street and educational television is good, because there was a special called "Don't Eat the Pictures" that Sesame Street did, and
Peer reviewed.
Yeah, look back in the primordial days of my blip. It was one of the first reviews that I did. Watch the review, it's worth it. Find the movie if you can. And it centers on Egyptian mythology and Big Bird and Snuffleupagus helping a little Egyptian mummy boy. So this got me really into Egyptology for like a 4-year-old. So, I mean, like, Anubis is awesome. The Egyptian pantheon kick-ass. But, like, it's just so bad. It's just movie. And then they added the disease aspect thing. They're like, oh no, look, we have, like, they couldn't decide if it was spread by the claws of the cat creatures or if it was the stuff that
We
they
didn't
breathed
mention
in.
the cat creatures yet.
Oh, well, spoiler alert, cat creatures.
Because they look like chupacabras or giant rats or something, and then you worked it out before I did. But they were sphinx cats.
Which just goes to show that hairless cats cannot be trusted.
Apparently,
And we're not getting one.
6,000 to 8,000 years ago, the ancient Egyptians locked Anubis into this pyramid and buried it with a bunch of cats. And these cats, although sphinx cats didn't actually exist back then.
Yeah, they're... Well, no, I think, like, the idea would be that they would progressively become blind and lose their hair, like cave creatures. So I can see that.
Oh,
I can see that
possible.
they weren't Sphinx cats, but they did become like Sphinx cats from
Okay,
living in
possibly.
it.
But they were there, and they work. They're not supernatural or anything.
No, they're just
The guys were like,
carnivorous.
well, the next generation, they're constantly inbreeding. The next generation eats the older ones. That's how they survive. It's like,
But it's a closed system. Okay, maybe like over a few decades, maybe I can see
you would
it.
need to start with a huge amount.
Yes, you'd like an army
It's
of
an
cats.
astronomical amount of them are getting killed for food every single.
Yeah, it's
ridiculous.
It doesn't work that way.
It's like the 1970s British horror movie Deathline, aka Dead Meat, which had a cave-in the building of the London Underground,
Mm-hmm.
and you had a bunch of workers, male and female, trapped in there.
It was like the Sonny Bean family thing.
It was inspired by it, but they were trapped inside the London Underground in this part, and they were never rescued.
Obscure reference.
They were never rescued in the film, and so they inbred.
Just forget about them.
They inbred and they ate the dying and the dead, who were trapped in any rats they found. And by the time the 60s roll around, there's only 2 of them left. And that's logical. If you have that sort of... They started off with like 150.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, logical. And this one, it's like they have 1 billion fucking cats running around.
Cats.
And I want to know which one of them... Who destroyed the robot? Because it looked like a dog, but...
I think Anubis did.
Then,
Oh wait, no, he couldn't have because he was still trapped in the thing at that time.
I don't know if he was...
No,
trapped,
because
he
he
could
had-
get in and out.
Oh, that's true. He could get there through the
But
shaft.
if he was up there, then why did he not leave the place? Because that was like round a corner from the entrance.
Yeah, that's true. And if he's a god, like, how could he not be like, oh, we figured out the star map? He's a god. He's a god.
And he's really fucking stupid. And there's just so much that's stupid in this.
So then they get to a burial chamber. Oh, one of the best. Okay, everyone dies really great deaths in this. I have to say, because like the whiny ass boyfriend, like the Australian cameraman like is taking the piss, and he's like, "What's your problem, man?" And then wha-boom, like a 2-ton brick falls on him and crushes his leg, and he immediately goes into shock. I was like,
then he was torn off it and had his heart
Yeah.
ripped out because, what else
and
can you
then
do?
the woman, the documentary woman, she's accidentally pushed by the camera guy. She's falling short into like a room of spikes, and she's like impaled on like
Fatality!
3 spikes, and then the cat creatures come out and they're eating her, and then he's
The cat creature, there are more CGI cats in this than Catwoman starring Halle Berry, and that's a fucking achievement.
Yeah.
Such a thing as trained cats exist in films. Cat wranglers exist. Jesus
cat
Christ.
wranglers. You can't herd cats. There's like one guy in Hollywood with a cowboy hat. I can, man. I herd cats for a living.
Well, you can. It's just hard.
And so then the dad dies. Spoiler: the dad dies. He's like, "Come on, you guys, we don't end up like that guy on the floor." And then Anubis like tears through him and has holding his heart, and he's like, "Bah!" And then
he somehow survives.
then probably Anubis uses supernatural powers to make you live while he weighs your heart. So he found the dad's heart lacking and then consumed it, which made him die.
And I was like, Anubis judging the dead and then eating the heart. It's like
That's because the Devourer beast.
they even mentioned the Devourer, so I'm thinking that the woman was wrong.
What was the name of the?
No, the woman
No,
mentioned
I used
the
to know the name of it though. The Coptic name of it. Sobek.
Okay.
It's Sobek.
The woman mentioned that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, because she also says, oh, Anubis ate the heart, but she also mentioned the Devourer. So I'm thinking, okay, Anubis and the Devourer were trapped in there.
Anubis ate the Devourer?
No. I'm thinking that is not Anubis. This will explain its difference in appearance too. The Devourer and Anubis had sex and had an Anubis and Devourer love child, which is immortal. That would explain why it's an idiot.
Wow. Ancient Egyptian / fanfic.
And then it ate both the Devourer and Anubis.
And birthed a bunch of cats.
Yes, and that's why it's immortal and stupid.
That makes sense. But yeah, so...
As much as...
And then they get to the burial chamber, and they find they find a body, and they're like, "Oh, we were not the first person to see it." I'm like, yeah, that's true, because grave robbers are all over the place. And of course, the next shot is her turning his like he has a signet ring, and it's the Mormons. She's like a Freemason, or not Mormon, a Freemason. Yeah.
Freemason advertising it.
And then the Australian's like, "What does it matter? What the fuck? It doesn't matter." She's like, "No, see, the Freemasons are great at tomb robbing." And I was like, "Where did the Masons come from? What are you bringing them here for?"
It's obviously a side quote to As Above, So Below.
Nothing to do with this whatsoever. It's from 1897 is when and it's so bad. And then
Do you know that's how George Washington won the Battle of Trenton?
He used
through
Anubis.
grave robbing,
did.
digging underneath the British lines, and then pulling them into the ground, where he then put them on spikes and fed them to cats.
All right, you really need to someone release a movie like that if you'd have done that right at the show. But it's just unless everybody was stupid and bad, and I hated them, and I wanted the Aussie to survive, but he didn't.
This is a little bit more tolerable than As Above, So Below, I think. It's
Yeah, because there
as
wasn't the
stupid.
shaky cam, and I didn't feel like vomiting about the movie.
Conceptually, it's not quite as stupid.
And
It's
the
also not
audience
quite as original.
wasn't as fun as when we saw The Hobbit. If you didn't see our Hobbit vlog, it was really great because Bilbo gets knocked out and this woman is, Jesus, not Bilbo!
But the this one's conceptually not as stupid as Above, So Below, but it's also not as original. But this one also features the main archaeologist guy. He is not worthy of.
He's pretty competent.
He's
He
not
wasn't-
worthy of bone kickers.
Yeah,
Unlike most of the other characters except for the Aussie.
yeah.
And there's
If they just listened, like if he just like put his foot down as the senior scientist on the dig and said, "No, we're going to comply with both what both governments want, or we will lose our funding." You know, like these are doctors. I'm assuming they're there on some university grant. You know, they've got a NASA, and that's the thing. It's like so they had a NASA robot. They are a total of 2 white people and an
they're in
Egyptian
Egypt.
American.
They're in Egypt.
Yeah.
A Nasir robot.
Oh, would you stop that? But yeah, it just was like it fed into a lot of tropes, and it like you could tell that they were and you know that they were infected with the aspergillus before they even went in the tomb. You know, because remember he goes, "Ow, oh, sand gets everywhere." That's the exact spot where the stuff broke out.
Yeah,
So it was a foregone conclusion that they were going to die.
there was an Egyptian guard guy who came down to rescue them
Sadid,
who appeared.
I liked him.
He climbed down the escape route right into Anubis's crib,
Lair.
and then he managed to avoid Anubis for the entire time, and then sort of shot some cats, and then he's like yelling at them, and the guy looks just like Skitch. It's great, and he gets the classic reverse fold in half and then pulled into like a tunnel, and then
See, I thought what they were going to do is because they killed one guy off so quickly, was that they were going to have him go around with him for a while, and because the roboticist who died was the only one who spoke Arabic, and they kind of be like a language barrier kind of thing. But now he died immediately, and I was like, well,
the film is A, not smart enough for that, and B, if they did do that, it would have turned into a Last You Come Home type thing. It's like, Sadid, what's that, Sadid? There's a monster coming. Where is it, Sadid?
no,
Go show us, boy.
because he would have tried to take control because he's
I know the movie's not smart enough to do that right, so they would have ended up with something like Lassie.
So then the Aussie and her get captured, and then the Aussie's face gets smudged under the claws of, which is funny because she's like, "Oh,
It looks like
you're
he's still alive."
And then Anubis is ripping her heart out, but she has this one of the hand axes they found up there, and she like works it free and cuts him, and then the cats jump on him, and she gets free, and then she's
I wonder if Anubis
almost free, and then passes out, and then she wakes up, and
If Anubis
there's I'm not done yet. And there's a shadow, and you think, oh, it's Osiris, because it turns out she was dead all along. No, it was one of the little Arabic kids, and he's like, what's this? And then, no! Anubis eats him from behind the end.
I want to know why the cats turned on Anubis. Either they were friends and had an equilibrium going on, in which case, why didn't they fight beforehand if they didn't? Or if they did, why did it
I don't know.
I'm thinking maybe because it got cut and they were like, I smell blood! Roar!
That's what I think. They scented weakness. Because cats hunt in packs. Oh, some cats do hunt in packs, But anyway, and then, so that was the end of the movie, and then it cut to this really bad, new metal song.
Yeah, from 10 years ago.
It sounds like, oh wow, I didn't know Stain released a song.
Or Mudvayne.
It did. It did sound like it was like, whoa, it's totally 2002. It's summer of 2002, man. Oh, so, why do you take me to see movies?
Because Robin's not here.
I filled the Robin-shaped hole
I
in your
want
life.
Robin to come back so we can look at bad horror movies.
I'm sorry, I can't be Robin for you. I don't commit
You don't even have a
crimes.
car.
I do in America.
I'm not here, though.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't like doing it in the car anyway.
I always love doing it in the car. Yeah. But yeah, so just don't bother. It's not good. I'm sure there's really good horror movies about Egypt. Oh, that's another thing. You know where, the largest population of Egyptologists is?
Egypt.
Yeah.
So you get a bunch of white people.
I'm just so sick of that trope that, because whenever I watch, National Geographic specials about the pyramids, and I do because they're on Netflix, it's always Dr. Amir so-and-so from the University of Cairo, and he's like, yes, well, I'm glad you're going to talk to me today. And it's just...
The Indian?
I can't do an Egyptian accent. I could do, 3 accents.
Do an Indian, an Egyptian accent dubbed by an English person. Dubbed by a person from Philly.
What? No. But anyway, you just it's so white people, and everyone died, and Hannah Montana didn't get to go to the prom, and there you go.
On the other hand, you know, unlike
So
As
bad.
Above, So Below, this film did not feature crazy archaeologist woman who should have never received her doctorate in the first place, punching rock ghosts in the face.
Yeah, well, this girl shouldn't have received her doctorate because she's a whiny little bitch. Like, seriously, it's just that's
Didn't
not.
have didn't
that's
have a
not,
car underground.
Okay, that's not how scientists behave. Okay, I'm taking what would be referred to in America as a soft science degree, as a social science degree. But even my university has it written into our handbook and our charter that, you know, this is a science degree, and you need to learn to behave like a scientist, and that means taking statistics, and that means like quantifying stuff, taking ethics panels, all this kind of stuff. And if I'm taking a soft science degree and I know how to act like a scientist, seriously, Dr. Hannah Montana, just saying. So bad, don't see it. Go see something else. Go see
You know what would be good?
Hobbit's
Just
good.
this basic idea.
Or go see Paddington Bear. It's getting good reviews. And Peter Capaldi's in it too.
With this basic idea, they should have set it in Greece, in Minos.
Yeah, and the have like have them discover the labyrinth. I
Yeah.
could see that. That could be good.
Yeah, because basically they have a labyrinth situation. They're lost. It's a
Yeah.
labyrinth. They have
And there's,
this
like-
is a monster. Why not just do
There's a
that?
Minotaur. Like the Minotaur's immortal. I think it's like
Yeah.
the spawn of a Titan or something.
It's I believe
Really?
Poseidon and a bull. I
Yeah,
believe.
yeah. So it could be immortal, dude. It writes itself.
So
And
yeah,
yeah, you could have like you can have them like
'Cause they
being
discovered
chased
the-
by like members of the Golden Dawn. Because the Greeks like run by fascists right now.
they discovered what they believe was the inspiration for the labyrinth in mythology. In the ancient Minoan civilization, they discovered what they think might have been it.
Yeah.
So
But
why
no one's
not?
kicked ass, yo.
It's a good concept, but
It writes itself.
it's like As Above, So Below would have been so much better if it was set in the Ukraine and in the
Yeah, it
under
was.
the things underneath Kiev.
So people should actually consult us when they're making found footage movies. Just saying.
Yeah, found footage movies. You need a reason for why they've got a camera. You need a reason why they never turn the cameras off, and you need a reason why the footage is found. Those are the three things you need. This film had none.
It was just bad. I mean, at least you got popcorn out of the deal.
Well, I had to pay for it
Yeah, I seen the thing of buying a bag of Haribo Star Mix and a bottle of water and then not opening either.
because you were fed by the wonders of film.
because I got some ice cream beforehand, then I felt kind of blah.
You were fed by the wonders of film.
Yeah, it must have been. So just
Oh,
don't,
there was the wooden
don't,
actor.
Don't go see this. Oh yeah, and there's this one, like they're talking to this guy who's like the State Department, so things. And this man was obviously picked like for this role because he knew somebody because he could not act at all.
It was a competition winner.
Yeah, he's like, I told you guys, look, you have to go. Remember, things. It's so bad.
Yeah. He won a competition to be in the film, I'm guessing.
Probably just see something else. I mean, you know, just don't even bother. Anything else
It's
to
bad, and I was expecting it to be bad. Although, I can see they're planning to reboot The Mummy as a
Really?
modern day film. Yes, they are.
Oh, jeez.
Part of the Universal Monsters, sort of their
Oh,
shared
that
universe.
Mummy! I thought you meant like Brendan Fraser, the Mummy.
Well, that was a reboot of it anyway.
Yeah, but that was
That's
like
Universal.
that was his own thing because then like Scorpion King got involved and.
Yeah, but if you look at the original 1932, the Mummy with Brendan Fraser is a remake.
Oh.
It's a direct remake. You've got
I really liked that movie.
it's a
I am a librarian.
because for instance, Ardeth Bey, the name of the leader of the Magi, the Arab guys who helped them out, that was the name of the mummy used when he was in the modern day in the original Mummy. The characters of Brendan Fraser and John Hannah they switch them around a bit, but they have analogues. They have an analogue for Rachel Weisz, although the names don't fit. You've got Anak Sunamun from the mummy's girlfriend. She was Rachel Weisz was her character in the original was a reincarnation of Anak Sunamun or something, which was pretty much the same name. Which the reincarnation idea is what they used in Mummy Returns. So it's a direct remake, but this would be another one. And this, if you use this as the basis for it, horror movie set inside a pyramid, mummy in it, fine. Just
Yeah, but I liked it more when he had like super sand powers. Cause like that's what I always didn't like those like really cheap mummy movies where he's very slowly advancing towards us. Oh no, we better for it. Oh, he's coming.
well, that was in the first one. He killed you. It was more like the Mummy and the Orient Express.
He is very slowly coming towards me.
Well, they could. I think they could do it if they handled it in that sort of way.
I guess.
Oh yeah, they had a soundtrack directly out of Indiana Jones in this.
Yeah.
I was like,
And the other one, he was like, the guy was like, don't touch anything. And then he like touches something and it like kills them. And the Australian was like, I thought you were told not to touch anything. He's like, shut up. The old archaeologist reminded me of my dad a bit.
I should probably show you the original Mummy at some point.
I think I saw it years ago, but yeah, just go see something else.
You know, there's a GIF of us kissing at the end of the Hobbit review.
Really?
Yeah, it's been put on Fuck Yeah, Demon Hagan.
Oh.
So, this is for Fuck Yeah, Demon Hagan.
What? Stop molesting me. Oh. Boo. Go see something else and see this. Don't waste your money.
I have a complete
Is
Universal
this even
Monsters
out? Is this
DVD
even
set.
out in America?
I think it was out there a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
But I have a complete set of 1930s Universal movies,
Maybe we'll watch it. At some
including models and everything. It cost me about 90 quid.
point. I was in the pyramids.